The most wanted man in New York has been nailed. His picture was plastered on the front page of Big Apple newspapers and USA Today. It showed him throwing a snowball at Sunday's Giants game, a game that snowballed into a free-for-all.
Football has had a long and memorable history with snow. There's just something so beautiful about seeing the game played in a winter wonderland. However, along with all the fun memories comes the rather infamous ones. Whether it's pelting opposing fans in the stands or attempting to hit a player on the field, NFL fans are no strangers to throwing snowballs. And one game back in 1995 got out of control. It ended with 175 people being ejected, 14 arrests, 10 plus people injured, and multiple hospitalizations. Luckily, with better security measures and proper precautions today, you don't see these types of incidents unfold, and you can go to events worry-free with SeatGeek. SeatGeek takes tickets from all across the web and puts them into one area, making buying simple. They have everything from football, baseball, basketball, concerts, festivals, or more. SeatGeek rates every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure that you're getting a good deal, with green meaning good and red meaning bad. And for first-time buyers, use code KTO at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. Make sure to click the link in the description to download the app. Now, technically, there's officially two games in NFL history known as the Snowball Game, both of heavy significance. The first one took place in 1985 between the 49ers and the hometown Broncos. With time winding down in the second quarter, you can see snowballs flying in, one of which nearly hit the referee on the ground. But what makes this game infamous happened a few plays later.
Well, I don't believe that was a fake. And I don't know what you do about a snowball hitting your holder just as he tries to place the ball down.
After a snowball from the stands broke the holder's concentration, the Niners eventually lost by 1. Following the contest, referee Jim Tunney explained, quote, "We have no recourse in terms of a foul or to call it on the home field of the fans. There's nothing in the rulebook that allows us to do that." Dan Reeves, the coach of the Denver Broncos, the home team, said this despite winning, quote, "I don't condone the snowball throwing. There is no place for that kind of activity in pro football. I hope we don't see that ever again."
13.5 inches of snow in Meriden, Connecticut. New York at LaGuardia Airport, 14 inches.
10 years after the 1985 Snowball Game, the New York Giants hosted the San Diego Chargers. It was week 17, and the traveling Chargers were 8-7, in desperate need of a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Giants, however, were not as fortunate. They entered the contest 5-10, mostly ready to move on to the following season. To make matters worse for fans, 3 significant storms had swept through the area over the previous 9 days, the last of which was the most severe. The stadium's maintenance workers did manage to clear out the aisles before the game, but most of the seating areas were still covered in snow. As the first half of the game progressed, despite the miserable weather, Giants fans had something to cheer about, as their team jumped out to a 17-3 lead at halftime. Even Santa was having a good time. But San Diego rallied in the second half, while the Giants' offense stalled out. Midway through the third quarter, with the score of the game being 17-10, fans had grown restless.
Covered by Hoffer, you can hear the reaction from the crowd looking for the interference call.
Around this time, people began throwing snowballs at other fans to pass the time.
Chris, that is a no-ball walking through the stands with a Pittsburgh Steel jacket or any visiting insignia as he faced a snowball.
Then as the game progressed, the fans began directing the snowballs to the sidelines.
As the snowballs come flying, the pass intended for Tony Martin.
This is unbelievable.
With the Giants struggling and the refs failing to make a few calls in favor of the home team, fans became unruly. By the tone of Chris Collinsworth, it seems he's in a little disbelief with what's going on. As the sidelines became a bigger target, the energy continued to shift. 2 plays into the fourth quarter, the refs sent players to the sidelines and put the game on delay. Now, I think most of you understand that uncontrolled fans throwing something like snowballs can be dangerous. But for those of you who don't think it's a big deal, this is what they were throwing.
You guys have been calling it a snowball fight. This is pure ice. When myself and my producer Bob Gately got here at 10 o'clock this morning, I said to him, there's going to be trouble here today. The stadium authority here did not shovel out the stadium. They just shoveled out the aisle. So when these fans came to the game today, they're sitting and standing in snow. So naturally, when something started to go wrong, they break it up into these ice balls and throw it in the field.
He was hit on the sideline, and some of these players, and it gets to be a dangerous situation. I don't know if that guy just got hit in the head or not. There's a guy on the Charger sideline who's down. They're having to hold a clipboard over Ron Blum's head so he doesn't get hit. There's a guy who just got hit on the head, I believe.
The man hit with an icy snowball was Chargers equipment manager Sid Brooks, who was knocked unconscious from being hit in the side of the face. At this moment, it had become extremely clear that this was now a serious issue. What's wild is the ref paused the game, that guy got knocked unconscious, the players and the coaches gathered around him to try to help him out, and the stadium announcer threatened the fans with a forfeit if they didn't stop throwing snowballs.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been advised and admonished about throwing snowballs, that unless the referee can see his way clear and the snowballing stops, this game could be forfeited to the San Diego Chargers.
Not only did the snowballs keep coming, that threat of forfeit never ended up happening, and the game was only on delay for about 4 minutes. That's about the time they take to review a catch these days. But anyways, with the game resumed, the Chargers ended up tying it 17-17. And on the extra point, one fan nearly pulled off what happened 10 years previous with a snowball, but he failed to break the holder and kicker's concentration. Ultimately, the Chargers would go on to win, and the snowballs never stopped. Even Santa got involved in the action. The tone of the fourth quarter became less about the game and more so about what exactly was taking place, and an overall discussion about how to handle this type of situation. By the time it was all said and done, 175 people had been ejected, 14 arrests were made, 10 plus people, which was mostly sideline security, were injured, and multiple of them ended up hospitalized. That equipment manager who was knocked unconscious fortunately ended up being okay. Will McDonough, the sideline reporter, said this during the fourth quarter.
These fans here today are nothing. I'll tell you, they're morons in this stadium, and for us to stand down and put up with this is ridiculous. Back to you, Marv.
Most people weren't happy with how things had gone. That's the way it is in society today. There's no respect for human life, Giants coach Dan Reeves said. I would not have cared if they called it. Hey, wait a minute. Dan Reeves? That was the coach of the Broncos back in the original Snowball Game. What are the odds that the two most infamous snowball incidents in NFL history had Dan Reeves as the head coach of the home team? Talk about a wild coincidence. Following the game, the Giants purchased a full-page advertisement in the local San Diego newspaper and apologized for the incident. And the biggest storyline that developed was the search for this man. The Giants and the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority asked for assistance in identifying him, offering a $1,000 reward. And after 15 people notified the team that they knew the man, Jeffrey Lang was arrested. According to Deseret News, Lang faced a judge and pleaded innocent, claiming that he was made the scapegoat of the whole fiasco. Ultimately, he lost his job, claimed that the whole incident ruined his life, and Lang was eventually convicted, receiving a fine when it was all said and done. Now, in wrapping up this video, this was a potential disastrous situation, but fortunately, no one was too seriously injured from this moment. Ultimately, Giants fans got what they deserved. 75 or so fans got their season tickets revoked, and as far as the game went, if there was just one play to define what happened on the field, it was this one. With the Giants inside the red zone in the fourth quarter, they were about to take the lead and take back control of the game. But things didn't exactly go to plan.
In motion.